All right, let's try this again. All right, guys. Sorry about the technical difficulty. See, sun already coming in. Hey, what's up, everybody? Roll on in, roll on in. Let me notify my Facebook family. Okay. Of course, you guys be sure to hit the like button. Go ahead and chat amongst yourselves. I'll be right with you, okay? I kid y'all not. Just when I started the live stream, the sun came beaming on me bright as day, literally making me look light skinned. And I'm telling you, that has not happened since my last live stream. I'm definitely one with the sun, no doubt about it. And you guys are as well. Just that I'm definitely more sensitive to it. Okay, what is the deal here? All right, okay. I notified my my Facebook family and friends. So let's do a roll call. Earth Avatar, what's up, Andrew? Shondell, welcome. Uh, Bumbashaka, welcome. Magic Indigo, welcome. Ramon. Misty World, welcome. Sun Goku, Revamp Skunk, what's up, fam? Misty Kitty, Lulu, Mary, what's up, fam? Top Dog X, welcome. Uh, Asian Milwan, welcome. Light Flower, Hayes Brumari, welcome. Unplug the Matrix, welcome. Jason Vizcara, is that how I say it? If I mispronounce, please excuse me. The Queen, Miss Quiet Queen, welcome. Riley Page, Riley Rage. I don't have my reading glasses, y'all. So, Midnight Cleanse, welcome. Shelly M, welcome. Celestial Trompa, welcome. Jason Vescara, welcome. Welcome. And again, be sure to hit the like button only because of the politics of this platform. I'm not going to be long. I only got about 45 minutes or so. I wanted to come on here and just engage because my most loyal viewers, you guys, there. I have some new viewers here, and I want to say welcome, welcome. And I want to talk about calibration readings because I've been doing a lot of calibration readings for different people. And for my most loyal viewers, I'm not surprised almost all of you guys calibrate at a 500 and higher, with maybe a couple of exceptions. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because with everything that's going on right now, those of us who hold calibration levels that are beyond average, we must be very, very mindful of some key things that I'm going to point out. Um, we represent the pillars, the anchors, those healthy cells within a body that is greatly out of balance. I would say the equivalent of a body that has disease or cancer, right? And I love to use this analogy because when I explain to people how these calibration readings work, until I give an analogy that makes sense to the basic human perspective, they won't get it until then. So let me do a brief explanation how calibration levels work. Let me first give honor and respect to Dr. Donald Hawkins. He was the one that inspired me to use the calibration chart. And what I did when I saw it and I practiced and experimented with it, I came off I spun off my own calibration chart in conjunction to my innate ability to sense and read energy and see and travel beyond the veil. And so when I experimented with this, I saw the level of accuracy and how on point it was. I continue to use it to this very day. I've been using it off and on for about 10 years now. No, about 8, 9 years. I'm sorry. And it has been very consistent. You guys who I've given calibration readings on, sometimes I put my intuitive read on it, but a basic calibration reading is most reliant on that chart that Dr. Hawkins created in conjunction to my own spin. And you guys are always talking about how they resonate. And so the way it works is essentially think of every single one of us as being a cell within a collective body, within a human body. Let's just say we're all cells. We all know that we have healthy cells. Then there are those cells that are defunct, not working properly. They're not performing in the way that they were created. So when this happens, it creates diseases and discord. This is happening on an individualistic level, and it's happening collectively, and it has been happening collectively for with humanity for the longest. So to remedy this, especially when we talk about healing a world or planet, what happens is beings from different realms of consciousness who have achieved balance and higher developed had created or achieved a higher harmonic level of consciousness, souls from that realm, because remember, we are energy, we are electrical beings before we are physical anything. Everything starts with the non-physical, which is energy, conscious energy, mind. Okay, this is a review for my people who have been with me for the longest. For people who are new, this is essentially what is happening. When people talk about spiritual warfare, it essentially deals with the unseen. Everything that we see is a manifestation that began with energy that was not flowing as it should, impure thoughts, people who are disconnected from their energetic side. Yes, we see the flesh and bones, but we can't see our emotions, but we clearly have it. We can't see our thoughts. Science can show you that they can put an apparatus on our mind and record a waveform every time we thought a brainwave activity, a thought. This is not being generated by the brain. It is being generated through the brain. So we are electrical beings, we are consciousness. So beings who are from higher levels of consciousness, advanced civilizations, have come down and brought in and are anchoring in DNA, ethereal DNA, because remember, nothing is really physical, nothing is really solid. We perceive the physical to be fixed and solid because here on this realm, we are in a dense form of gravity, right? So when we anchor, when we come down as pure energy, electrical beings in water, because although we look around, we are underwater. It's just that's what H2O, we breathe it in. We are underwater. Water is a perfect conduit of electromagnetic energy. So we are underwater. We're in this collective body together in a body of water less dense than the water in the ocean, but still the same concept. Wherever there's water, there's an electrical current, there's electricity. Everything is being affected by the other. So essentially, those of us who came in with high calibration levels are and have a connection to our either source or our realms, the soul realm from which we come. As we become older, stronger, and denser in the body, we start anchoring in DNA and information to help counterbalance the disruption, the unconsciousness, the ignorance, the violence, the destruction. We also move physically in this regard, but more of this is happening on an energetic level. So those of us who hold and are really strong enough to hold and handle this level of energy, we play very key roles in this massive transformation that is going on. So just like a body that's riddled with cancer, the cancer cells will start fighting even more aggressively once they see the rays and radiation from the light that's killing them and killing them off and breaking off their influence on the collective body. So I say all this to say that many of you guys are vibrating, calibrating at a level where it can go much higher and you can have much more influence. But I see that too many of us are still allowing the noise of the world to get us in an emotional state. Some of us are in relationships that are just unhealthy, is not going anywhere, honestly. I see women, and I'm not saying any names, I'm just speaking in general. I see women who are clinging to toxic men who would be the equivalent of a cancerous cell. Now, if you've been with this man for years and you see that the situation is getting worse, you need to let go of that cell and allow your energy to recalibrate so you can shift that energy on a cell that you can help to neutralize or bring into balance. This is how this energy game works. So when the media is pushing out all this stuff to keep us in fear and anger, most of us we feel the righteous anger, but some of us go off real in conjunction to having these people in our space, in our circles, pulling on us, pulling our energy down or keeping us from anchoring in more higher energies to affect the whole. Some of us are still not consciously aware that this is what is going on. So that in conjunction to these energies, and I've been saying this for the longest, is essentially pushing everything that we have not healed and dealt with to the surface. So a lot of us are starting to have nightmares. We're having traumatic thoughts coming into mind. Our dreams are all kind of crazy and all over the place. And it is your higher consciousness or your higher self way of forcing you to deal with past hurts and traumas that you have not either neutralized or um, integrated and transmuted or alchemicalized and released. Either way, it's still there. So we have to begin working more on ourselves. So that means that we have to stop engaging in and stop connecting with people, places, and things who are not helping us to calibrate to the next level, because things are about to really get really chaotic. Now, I'm not here to try to push fear mongering or anything like that. We've already won. I told you guys that we are just going through the experience. What I'm here doing is playing out the script. You guys are here because you're playing out the script. It must be physically experienced in order to be fully realized. And it is a very delicate, very incremental act, but it's getting ready to go to the next level. So the political scene, this crap that's going on with the Black Lives Matters, with the shooting of unarmed black people, in conjunction to them elevating second wave, this I have to watch what I say, because all they're gonna, I can't really say it exactly the way I want to say it, because all they're gonna do is edit it out. You're gonna miss it. I have to keep speaking in an encrypted way. You guys will get what I'm saying. They're pushing this narrative that is dressed up to look one way when it's really something totally different. Okay, with when it comes to this so-called situation with the C word. Okay, so it is going to get really chaotic, especially for those. Now, I'm not as worried for you, for those of us who have been really putting in that work and who really get how this thing works and have at least a basic understanding of what's going on in the nature of reality. There are many realities. This is just one of many. Okay, but this is the one we are one with. We are literally at the front helm of this thing. And when I say we, I'm talking about people who are in even animals, sea life. There are many beings who are involved in this, holding a frequency and who are anchoring in energies who we are collectively trying to transform this planet in a way like we've never seen before. But before that happens, see, here comes the sun. Before that happens, right, the old must fall away. This is why people who are attached to money and material gains and their body, their race and all this stuff, these are the people that's going to have the hardest time and who are having the hardest time. And I can only tell them, we can only tell them and share them. But if they allow these events unfolding to rile them in their emotions, and their emotions are just all over the place, and they're not thinking and moving rationally, the outcome and consequences will be on them. Unfortunately, like I always say, some folk just got to burn and learn. There's nothing we can do about that. But what we can do is continue to work on ourselves, hold our vibration as high as possible while physically moving forward in the world and helping and supporting those of us who are trying to make a positive difference in the world. Do not give your energy and currency to people, places, and things who are not serving your highest good at this time, especially now. You guys have to be mindful of how you're using your energy. So, yeah, the light is shining brightly. Acknowledge. Yeah, I'm telling y'all, I'm in this space all of the time. This does not happen any other time. So you guys see things. I'm not using any trickery now. It's really easy to uh, upload a video and things are captured going on in the scene, and people, oh, you edit that in or whatever. But you guys have seen videos where you see things going on around me that I can't possibly edit in. This is right. This is live. This is real, and I'm pouring from my heart a genuine realness. Real recognizes real. And I know you guys, I'm preaching to the choir, but for a couple of you guys who are new here, always know, and Gaia Earth said it best, always know that here they're going to always try to hide away, shun, or make mockery of those who have wisdom. And I'm talking about people who live and experience what they talk about, right? Not only do we live and experience what we talk about, we practice it. The majority of those who are on here with the big audience, with the big numbers, they're not living what they're saying. They don't really, many of them really don't know what they're talking about. That's why so many of them are flipping the narrative. What I'm saying is what I've been saying from day one. You guys are a testament to that. So again, the biggest hindrance with many of you guys is how you are sharing and spending your currency, your real energy, your true life force. And that means periodic detox from social media. I've been saying this for years because what people who are unconscious and disconnected do not realize is that subliminally and subconsciously, a lot of filth is going into their aura field now, especially those who have high energy levels but are not in tune and connected with the energetic part of self. Yeah, when we eat, there's a physical aspect, but everything that we eat has an energetic component. So when these doctors report, oh, you have a disease, because and the first thing people do is try to tie a physical situation to it. What they fail to realize is that more importantly, there's an energetic component that played a role in that. And when we are disconnected from that energetic component, or not in tune with that energetic component, or not in control with that energetic component, that energy turns on a physical body and begins attacking out, or primarily here. This is why so many people are starting to have problems with their stomachs in the area and the organs in the surrounding area, because the gut, when people talk about the gut here, when you talk about intuition and all that, the second brain, when I get my greatest, most profound readings, I always feel them here, and it moves to my heart, and it comes up the crown. It's like a system, but it usually starts here in the gut, because this is a second brain. And if this is out of balance, your energy centers are all out of whack, because most people are totally unconscious of it and think it's not real. And it eventually creates dis-ease in the body. Now, I'm telling you what I'm talking about. I had developed some ulcers a few years ago, and I was very clear on why those ulcers manifest. This is why I started doing things very differently. And those ulcers, I've healed them without going to the doctors. I don't have any problems with it because I'm in tune with my body, and I'm in tune with those who are beyond the veil, who are very wise in these things. We have the ability to get in tune and heal ourselves. Okay? Again, telling you what I know. You don't get to be the age that I don't get into that man-made age myth, but let's just say, according to the man-made age, I'm considered old. Okay? I'll say that much, because I stopped running that program a long time ago. But guess what? I don't smoke, drink, do drugs, no kind of drugs. Okay? And look at me. Not bad, right? And I ain't popping the pill for nothing. I ain't been to the hospital. Now, I had a knee injury years ago. Now, it's something like that. That's one thing. But obviously, I'm doing something right. And I'm dealing with some of the same kind of stresses, have dealt with some of the same problems and challenges as everybody else, probably worse than average, really. And I'm sitting here telling you in this bright sunlight, wisdom, what I've learned, and over the years, what I've looked at when I've read other people who are holding up in their right mind, standing on their square, looking youthful, healthy, vibrant, drug, alcohol, disease free. Okay? So don't you listen to people who produce fruits and can show you what they're talking about. Okay? All that talk and your situation, when you look at them and you look at what they produce, and they're saying one thing, the two don't go together, you need to be questioning that. All right, let me go in and look at some of you guys' questions. I really wanted to also, because of these, I got behind, I really also wanted to talk about a couple of other things, but I'm going to have to save that for later. I know you guys like the live. I don't mind doing the live. There are pros and cons to everything, right? When I do the lives, I know that if I say certain things, they can freeze the frame and block it out, and you will never get it. It's kind of like a waste of time. It's much easier to censor people doing the lives than it would be to do an upload and put it out there. Even if they shut it down from this site or whatever, I still have my website, which I have not put any new content on there in a while. It's really there just as an information hub for now. Or if this thing is shut down, you guys know to come to my website. That's really my backup. But I will get back to updating information there. So this live is good in one way, but there's some negatives to it that I'm not very fond of. And the censorship is definitely we've already seen the censorship in other ways, but the censorship can really be um, enforced through these lives. So that's what I don't like about it. My live did freeze for a moment earlier, but I wasn't sure if it was my internet or not. See, that's what I'm talking about. Well, we'll know later, right? But even still, once the live is complete, people talk about how they'll look at other people's lives and it'll play just fine, but my live will keep buffering over and over and over again. So, you see, it can go either way. Y'all, I am not light skinned. I am beautifully brown. This is the lighting. Okay, let me go back to the top and let me see what you guys are talking about. Now, as I look through these comments, I want you guys to know that, yes, they're going to push this second wave and they are already starting to lock down certain places in the country. And they're going to definitely try to push for another complete lockdown. But see, what is going to also happen as they do this, more and more people are going to start rebelling. This is where all the rioting, and it's going to get really, really chaotic because you're going to see more people not buying it and literally going to war like we've never seen before. And the election is really going to piss a lot of people off too. And there's going to be a lot of chaos and rioting. It's just going to really get very, very interesting, right? So again, we can be in the middle of all of that and still be unaffected. Good day, ABB. I'm glad to be here in the digital building. All right, Jeanette, welcome. Hey, beautiful one. What's up, Salted Caramel? Welcome. Thank you very much. Lisa Ray has one. Oh, I guess I got your back, fam. Thank you very much. I got your back. I'm sorry, I forgot to make you the moderator. Oh, you're already moderator. I've been done that. Okay, cool. That's covered. How chaotic are we talking about? Mad Max? No, I don't see it getting to that level now. Let me tell you something. If it were not for beings who are working behind the scenes and beings who have incarnated here at this time, it would be. I keep telling y'all don't know what hell on earth is. And people don't know what a world or realm with no love, no light is. I've been in realms like that. And let me tell you, that is a form of hell. That is a place. When people talk about purgatory, there is a place. That place is in between worlds. It's in between realities. And that's a place where people, once we drop these bodies, we transition back, right? There's a process to it. Beings who did not work on themselves, who were full of rage and didn't their emotions all over the place. They didn't deal with trauma. A lot of these beings will find themselves on the lower astral realm where there's a lot of darkness, no light. It's very, very depressing. It's very dark. It's extremely cold. There's no love or no light there until one of the beings or beings who know how to lower their vibration come in there and bring light. Now, no one can go in there and pull them out. It's just like here on earth. We can't make nobody see anything. All you can do is share it, plant the seed, and move on. It's a waste of time trying to convince people of anything that you are living witness to. If they have not experienced it, to them, they're not. And if they're not ready to experience it, they're not ready. So they have to go through some more things and get to that point of getting it on their own. And it may take more cycles for many of these beings. And again, that place of darkness, that purgatory on the lower astral realm, that realm in between physical and the next realm or what have you, this is where many people, when they have so-called near-death experience and they talk about a hell, they're going to the lower astral realm. That's not a that's a realm where people with certain belief systems, people who didn't work on themselves, people who have very low chaotic energy goes, because that's how the universe is. Here, what's unique about this matrix is that it can anchor beings with different frequencies and vibrations in a dense physical body in the same space. But when we become pure energy, it does not work that way. You go where your energy flows, with the vibratory match of where you are. You are magnetically pulled to that place where your mind and your consciousness is. So if you are someone who is hateful, violent, and never worked on yourself, and you're way out of balance, you're going to go to a plane where there's no love, no light, all of that energy multiplied times a million, and you'll be there with other souls who are generating that same kind of energy, and you're going to feel every single bit of it. The other thing about the physical body is that it buffers a lot of our emotions. We know we give them all, but when we're in these bodies, we're not consciously, most of us are not consciously aware of the energy that we emit, right? We're not consciously aware of of our thoughts. But in those realms, everything is instant, because you don't have a buffer. You don't have gravity slowing down the manifestation of your thoughts and your belief system. In that realm, everything is instant. Now, let me tell you something else about that realm. There are also entities there who are highly psychic, right? But if you don't know this, okay, these are the beings who are feeding off of human energy. But if you don't know this, these beings are highly psychic, and they can project in your mind a scene or vision of hellfire and all this stuff, and you think it's real. This is where, when you look at all these people saying God came and took them and they saw hell, these people are not lying. They had the experience, but it's not the source of it, and what's behind it is not what they think. I'm telling you what I know, because I live it. I've seen it time and time again. And ironically, when you know who you are and you're in tune with yourself, these beings, they flee from you. They won't mess with you, because they know, oh, I can't fuck with that one. You know what, y'all? The older I get, my filters are lessening. But they know, as a matter of fact, some of them will see your light and they'll run and hide from you. And I'm gonna tell you, there were times when I would see these beings and they'll be standing back and they'll be doing one of these, like, can he see me? Can he, like, yeah, I can see you. But as long as you stay over there, you ain't got to worry about me lighting your ass up. Okay? That's just the reality. And again, this is what most people on this planet do not know. Most people don't know how deep this stuff goes. And as much as I know, I still know it's way more that I am just not, from a human perspective, humanly capable of bringing down and breaking down and explaining. So this is why they say there's nothing like an old fool, because an old fool gets set in their way and think they know everything. If you stop learning and think you know everything, and you up in age, you're an old fool. Now there's room for growth for all the youngins, but an old fool, you're an old fool. Okay? I still challenge myself to learn something every day. 62 people, 63 people in the room and 38 likes. What's up with that? Even though I don't buy that either. All right, let me get back to the comments, and I really have to get ready to wind this one down. I got your back. This is why we are so heavy on DNA. They are trying to figure out who is mutating so they can try to shut it off. Exactly. This is exactly what I've been saying. The physical body has the same capabilities within, with the so-called junk DNA really deactivated. The human body can do some of the same things we do in our dream state. The dream state is just another reality, another realm whereby laws and physics and gravity do not exist. That's it. This is a form of dream, but for many beings here, it's a nightmare. So reality really is what we make it out to be. Whether it's real to the next person or not, we are mind. We are creators. Once we create it, it's real. I don't care how real it's not to someone else. Okay? Once you understand the power of the mind, we are spark of consciousness above all else. We are energy. So the DNA is dense and physical and measurable by the typical conventional sense of the word here, but that DNA also has an etheric version or copy or what I like to call a blueprint or a binary copy of it that is not bound by the laws of physics of physical reality. And here's why all these years, I've been trying to get you guys to start getting in tune with the part of yourself. You are an electrical being. We are majority water for a reason. You are an electrical being also. So don't just focus on the physical. You need to be in tune with the non-physical. Now, I can say this all I want. If you don't believe it and think it's not real, that's on you, but I'm not here to try to force nothing on anybody. I'm only here to plant the seeds and share and have conversations with people who are genuinely interested in understanding or understanding or ultra standing. The misuse of sexual energy is worse than it. Yeah, let me touch on that one really quick. Now, I talked about OnlyFans in one of my lives before. Now, pornography is already in abundance on the internet, but here's the angle now. They want to get influencers. Remember when I talk about the dangling carrot, because people are so thirsty for money and clout and popularity. They make for OnlyFans very lucrative for a reason. You really think it's because they want to see these people win? No, there's always an agenda behind it. So you see all of these everyday people who are basically getting on there to do porn because that's the most push, that gets the most money, that's the most promoted. So you're getting on camera, generating sexual energy, having sex, masturbating, showing your body, and thousands of people looking at that. Again, just because you're on a camera does not mean energetically, because remember, we're in this collective body of water together. When you generate an energy signal, orgasm, or what have you, a thought or what have you, and people are focusing on you, you are engaging and sharing in that energy. And then there are also beings that we can't see with the naked eye who feed off of that energy, and they're sucking that energy and they're harvesting it. And these people do not realize that this is a form of selling your soul, because sexual intimacy and that kind of thing, it should be sacred. It should be treated with respect and honor. Now, I know prostitution is the oldest profession in the world, but that don't make loosely having sex and using your sexual energy in a reckless way. It does not make it right. And to just use it to get a lot of so-called money, because after a while, that's going to be totally irrelevant. And this internet also will be shut down for prolonged periods, by the way. I meant to say that with people who are still so obsessed with staying online. So that OnlyFans mess is a massive setup, and it is an excuse to promote porn like never before. Why? Because sexual energy is the foundation. It is our launching pad. And when you deplete it and you're giving it out and you're generating, getting other people to deplete it in a very hedonistic way, in a careless, irresponsible way, everyone who's involved in that kind of situation, especially those puppets that are being used, are going to pay for that. Okay, the physical world is a super dense dream world. It is. I've been able to make small, and anyone who's ever had a false awakening will know this beyond a shadow of doubt. A false awakening is, now this is different from astral projection or being teleported to another world or whatever. This is totally different. This is literally waking up. You are just as real as I'm sitting here talking to you guys. You are up, thinking you are up, and then all of a sudden you feel something ain't quite right, and everything, something is out of place. Then all of a sudden you're jolted, and then you wake up and you realize you wasn't really up. And that's one of the most trippiest, most confirming thing that proves beyond a shadow of a doubt, once you experience it, that this is a dream. This is a dense dream. That's exactly what it is. But like I said, for many people, it's a nightmare. And they are just repeating and coming in a nightmare over and over and over because they don't have the right knowledge or the right tool to understand the true nature of reality. Everything is the mind projecting what it believes, what it invests in, what it's consenting in, usually in ignorance, what you give your power to, and so on and so forth. What's up, Sister Noble? You guys, please support. I love her spirit. I really love Sister Noble's spirit. My sister introduced me to her. Tanisha Mitchell, what's up, fam? I love these ladies. These sisters are warriors. Okay, I love their fire. I love their transparency, and they are what I say we absolutely gonna see more sisters like them activating, ain't taking no more crap, period. Okay? They're not playing it. This cancer that's on this planet right now overwhelmingly comes from cells who are disconnected, who are unconscious, or cells who have made deals with off-world low vibratory entities. The cancer is very real here, but guess what? The goddesses that's represent the great mother, Mother Nature, Mother Earth, and beings who respect and highly honor this world ain't having it. It ain't going to fly. Now it's going to be bumpy, it's going to be rough, it's going to be challenging, but I'm telling you guys, in the long run, we are going to create a heaven-like world for souls, our those of us who have come here. Everyone is not here to make babies. Some of us are not here for that. Those of us who have come here, made a contract and agreement to bring forth plant DNA in the gene pool. Yeah, there's some people that's their purpose. That's not the purpose for everybody. Now, one of the reasons why we're out of balance is because there are beings who came here, got out of balance, and went against their contract and made babies when they weren't supposed to. So now they're trapped down here and have to recycle and try to balance out what their children have created, children they should not have created. And guess what? Those children are not souls. Those children are spirits. That's a whole nother conversation. There's a difference between spirit is in everything, but I'm talking about soul brothers and sisters who in ignorance bought into these organized religions and the pressure from family to make babies when they weren't ready, when they felt and they knew they weren't ready and didn't want to, and they went against it. And guess what? Due to free will, we're allowed to make those kind of mistakes. Especially once we get here and we get detached, because we have to learn from those equations. We have to learn from those mistakes. Even after we come, lower our vibration and come and be anchored in these, I like the way Rion says, I used to call him Ryan, but Rion. What's up, Rion? That's another one. That brother is connected. Hadn't spoken to him in a long time, but he's definitely connected from United Collective. He definitely has a very sharp mind and absolutely sees exactly what it is that is truly going on. There are not many who's on his level. He's the real deal. Like I say, real recognizes real. But meat suits, these are just costumes. This is not who we were. This is not who we, and I think when more of us start realizing that and start fighting from the soul, from and grasping from a higher energetic perspective, more that fire would just go to the next level. So going back to the sisters, especially the way women have been treated on this planet for so long, that's cancerous work right there. That's and so all of the imbalances as a result of the way the divine feminine has been treated is exactly why we are here today. And here's why the women, the divine feminine, I'm also talking about males who are really women in suits, in these suits, okay? They're divine feminine in male suits, and then you have you even have divine masculine in female bodies, because of everything that has gone here. And that goes into a whole nother realm. Get beyond this. This is what the opposition has been using to keep us ignorant, detached, clueless of our true divine abilities, our true power, and who and what we truly are. And so sisters like Alberta and um, my girl Tanisha, with being transparent about sexual abuse, all of that plays a role, because you have a lot of people who have traumas with sexual abuse. This is why I talk about it. The download phenomenon, I talk about it because I know there's a direct connection to the cancer that's going on this planet. All the phobias, all the hate, all the racism, the sickness of racism. When you guys really go beyond the veil, you really see just how much of a fool they made out of a lot of people. And I'm talking about all of us. Because when you realize that person you looking at attacking, calling nigga, and you honky that, which you start realizing that's just you from a different perspective. You just attacking yourself. This is why a lot of souls can't get out of this cycle of birth and rebirth. You're attacking and projecting all this hate and all this volatile energy towards a being who's just as brainwashed and disconnected as you are. That's why y'all don't see me get into the black, white, male, female, gay, straight, bull. It's all bullshit. It's all political, football, all mind games, emotional triggers to keep people ignorant of the true nature of reality and our true potential as consciousness, mind, power, soul, having a human experience. All right, guys, I know I would like to go on, but I'm on a timeline. I have got to go. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to read your questions, your answers, but what I'll do is I'll go back later and look at this live, and I'll write down like notes based on the questions you've asked, and I'll come back and I'll answer them, or I'll write in a blog. But either way, whatever questions you had here, I will answer it for you in some form or another at some point, okay? Let me see. Is there anything else? This is my best angle. What you guys think? I'm tripping. I think that's it. Again, thank you all so much. 80 people in the room and only 58 likes. Hit that like, y'all. I thank you guys for sharing this moment with me. Please go back and watch this video, because sometimes I'm kind of in the zone, especially when the sun is coming in on me. I forget that I'm saying certain things, because a lot of this stuff I am channeling, but it's also stuff that I've observed as well. When I say channeling, I'm channeling straight from source, the sun, or from my higher self. We all have a version of ourselves that is not bound by this reality. And when I'm talking about soul brothers and sisters, okay? Oh yeah, donations are welcome. By the way, again, I must say that channel content makers such as myself, we are marginalized, and there are others who are pretty much in the same boat. I always take donations and I pay it forward, and I donate to others who I know who are being marginalized. This is how we minister and support one another through these triumphant times. This is why we are still here, holding up in spite of everything, where the whole world looks like it's falling apart. We are still good. We have to look out for one another. All right, so the live is guys said how long is the live? I guess it's about 40 an hour maybe. Almost an hour. You're welcome, Hazel, and welcome. I'm sorry, you guys. If I didn't get to give you a shout out next time around, thank you all so very much. I got to bring this one to a close. As always, you are loved beyond measure, because immeasurable love truly is all that is truly real. But the people some soul brothers and sisters got to go through a series of lessons, a series of hard knocks, alchemical transformation, and so on and so forth to get this. I know that, love. I've been there. This is why we all feel that something is missing. We don't feel a belonging. No matter what we do, we don't feel a belonging because we don't belong here. We're looking to connect, and that connection will never be here. Now, our loved ones give us something close to, but we don't really get that void within feel until we go back home to where we truly come from and what we truly are. And on that note, happy travels, guys. That's it. Thank you all so much.